Okay, so take it away.
Yeah, sure. I do need you.
Shh.
And again. Our game is the story of Lee Yun-hai, who is on flight 214, and what we're doing with this game in UDK is we're rescuing survivors from a crashed plane against time, against a fire volume which will basically be the enemy of the game, and we will be playing first person, and the idea of the game is to in a risk-reward based system to try and save as many people as you can and save yourself. Mechanics.
No, that's it.
Whoops, sorry.
So you got?
Talk about mechanics.
You've got a couple of minutes to talk about the mechanics?
Yeah, the basic mechanics are you'll like start the game with you're waiting for a plane, you'll have to save as many survivors as you can as this wall of fire is kind of constantly approaching on you. You'll be able to use these fire extinguishers which will be placed throughout the plane to slow the fire down. But that will just like delay by a few seconds, just give you a bit more time. What we're planning on doing is to not actually like penalise the player if they were to die. Like it's all about saving as many people as you can.
Cool.
Whether it's sacrifice yourself or not, it's up to the player.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much. Round of applause. And do you want to take it on to the next slide? Can we have this one up, please?
Hey everyone, our game's called Jungle Julianne, which is based off of Julianne Koepke's story of surviving falling out a plane crash. She fell into a jungle and she had to survive the wilderness using gas canisters to sterilise her wounds, and eventually she was rescued by a village of lumberjacks.
The game will be a 2D platformer done in Unity, and there will be a survival mechanic where players have a health bar and a water bar and a food bar, and as they move across the level, the more they move and jump around, the more energy and water will be used, so the player has to pick up various pickups to restore those bars. So it's kind of against the time as well. So if you use all the pickups in the game, you will probably die by the time you get to the end. It's kind of like a survival sort of, you figure out a certain path to go if there's more pickups on that one, or try an easier route. The player will play through various levels until they reach the end and are saved.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about it?
Just the basic, everything's going to be themed around the jungle, spider
Cool.
enemies, snakes, jumping, whatever.
Great. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much. Round of applause. And stick on to the next slide, please.
Come on, are you serious?
Another jungle-related game.
So you already know the basic story of what happened to
So tell us about your game.
That's just well, as you can see, top-down two-stick arcade shooter. Basically, a case of you kill what you see. She did float down a river for quite some period, so that would be a sort of side-scrolly, what's the word, survival mode. I wanted to have it back to I Will Survive by the Bee Gees, but Alex didn't want to let me, which I thought would be quite fun for a survival mode. Just take the piss, take the piss on a really serious situation.
Maybe
it's
not.
a game. Like, if we don't enjoy it, what's the point? But yeah, it's literally a case of kind of a survival cross with shooting. It's not really meant to have much, what's the word, story development. That's more just a reason to be there, if that makes sense, a context.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, it's just avoid bullets, kill some form of enemy jungle turret, and then yeah, just run around.
Okay.
Explore.
Thank you very much. Do you want to click it over to the next slide? Can I have a round of applause?
Really not necessary.
Just a bit about the narrative. We're doing based by Grace Darling, which is set in Longstone, which is basically her and her father went out and saved many people's lives from the shipwrecked Forfarshire.
Basically, the game is a race against time. You're meant to pick up the survivors down here. You start near the lighthouse in a boat. The first level will be about 45 seconds, the next about 30, and maybe the final level about 15 seconds. Increasing difficulty as well from like obstacles that'll be in the way just to kind of hinder you and slow you down. And the boat will be hard to move as well against like the tides and the rocks and just kind of the rowing boat movement. So the enemy's like kind of the boat yourself and just the obstacles.
Cool.
That's about it, I think.
Excellent. Do you want to slip on to the next slide? Round of applause. Hello, the Soviet Union.
Well, our game is going to be based upon the Night Witches, which were the all-female Russian night bombing squadron, which flew mainly over Germany in World War II. It's going to be kind of like a flight sim, but you don't really have any control over the plane, because the idea was they'd fly in, then cut their engines and just glide to the position to drop their bombs so that they weren't detected and weren't shot down. And the controls are going to be all labelled in Russian because you're in a Russian plane. All the instructions that you're given are going to be in Russian because you're a Russian fighter pilot.
You have to basically glide over the position. You'll be given a time when you're meant to release the bomb. If you release at the right time, you complete the objective. If you don't, then you kind of missed.
But you don't know because they tell you whether you succeeded or failed in Russian.
I would love to have this play tested by someone who spoke Russian.
We're not sure if the instructions are right because we also don't speak Russian.
I do know a Russian teacher.
We'll have to get some help on that.
Yeah, but that's great. Thanks very much. Round of applause and click on to the next slide. Nightingale. So I had to combine your two slides into one. It's my stringent one slide. One of them was just a large picture.
Our game is based on Florence Nightingale, who saved a lot of soldiers in the Crimean War. Has a bit of an impact on medicine during that time. We're using UDK. It's going to be a first-person camera view, and the main idea of the game is for it to be educational. It's meant to teach the player about medicinal advancements through the Crimean period.
But the actual gameplay is going to end up being you have to treat patients who you have a probability of if you can save them or not. And you're going to get a timer as when you go up to the patient, so you have to go around getting different pieces of medicine, bandages, stuff like that. You increase your chances of actually healing them. And each time you heal someone or you don't heal them, you get a percentage towards going on to the next level. And on each new level, you'll see the advancements in the hospitals and new medicines during those sorts of time periods.
Very good. She also popularised the use of the pie chart. So I'd love to see that included somewhere. But thanks very much. Round of applause and click on to the next slide. You guys.
Our game's about Judy Brewer. She's the first female firefighter. She failed her strength test originally, so the goal of the game is to try and pass that test. Do you want to explain how you get to that?
Yep. Basically, there's only one way to pass the test. She have to acquire enough strength by within a time limit. And if she fails to acquire enough strength by the test, by the time the test arrives, she's going to lose the game. Or if she missed some of the duties or didn't
basically, there's certain things you have to do as a firefighter, so putting out fires, rescuing people, and they pop up in different parts of the town, and you have to go to that area and sort the problem out, and then you'll get money to go to the gym to get your strength up to do the test at the end.
Which is here, and by going to the gym, you earn perks that such as increase on speed, strength, and skill, and those stats are for maybe traveling around faster, or being able to finish her objective, such as fighting off the fire quicker. And she also get to there will be random pickup around the city, which temporarily increase her stats, such as traveling around faster, or she doesn't get tired as easily.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of time to do everything in, and the test happens automatically, so you just have to build yourself up for that, basically.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much. Round of applause and click on to the next slide. Can we have our second Grace Darling game up, please?
So our one's about Grace Darling as well. So the idea is you just got to get from the lighthouse to the shipwreck and back again. There'll be like a third-person view, and you're only able to move left and right. And as time goes on, it's going to get quicker. And things like rocks and that are going to submerge out the water and get bigger to cause more obstacles. And have things like moving sharks and that you have to dodge past.
Many sharks up in that bit of the world?
I'm not sure. Just thought I just wanted to put it in. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Click on to the next slide and a round of applause, please.
Our game is based around the last checkpoint flight of Amelia Earhart. It is a top-down flight game based on your checkpoint from Papua New Guinea to Howland Island. And it's got a black and white art style to keep it simple, and it shows surreal and fear during the last couple hours of her flight. It gets across her willingness to not give up in her desperate hours, and when she was low on fuel, and different types of tentacles coming from the side that show tendrils of fear.
You can't win.
Yeah, and you can't win. It's point based, so like the further along you get, the more points you get, but eventually you crash and die.
Excellent, thank you very much. Round of applause. Click on to the next slide.
Okay, pretty easy to guess what we're doing. It's also about Grace Darling. Obviously, you go out from the dockyard on the boat, rescue drowning passengers. You have to avoid debris from the shipwreck, of course, so barrels, planks of wood, larger debris, stuff like that. You have to fight against the currents, storm. It's also going to be dark because it's a shipwreck at night. So you also have to use your mouse to control the lighthouse light, to be able to find where the passengers are, see where the debris is. Occasionally lightning strikes and you'll be able to see the entire map. So a little extra addition to that. The more passengers you get on your boat, the heavier and slower and less maneuverable it becomes, making it harder to avoid the debris. So you also have to do it against time, more passengers, higher points, but risk reward, that kind of thing, with passengers and the maneuverability of the boat.
Absolutely it.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much all.
That's great. Round of applause. Thank you very much. I think that's it.